Is Gotham Knights the superhero game we were waiting for, or just another case of unrealised potential? After all, how does one follow in the shadow of greatness left by the Arkham series? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into Gotham Knights, the latest addition to the Batman gaming universe. With the Arkham series setting the bar impossibly high, Gotham Knights arrives with big shoes to fill and even bigger expectations from the gaming community. Developed by Warner Bros. Games Montreal, the creators behind Arkham Origins, which is part of the Arkham series itself, the game set out to explore Gotham in a way we've never seen before through the eyes of Batman's proteges, without the Dark Knight himself leading the charge. Before we go any further, I would like to make quick mention that I have recently finished all of the Arkham games, and due to that, there is now an Arkham series review up on the channel, as well as a full playlist of the live streams of the playthrough of Arkham Knight that I've done. If you haven't seen the review video or the full playlist of the streams, I'd highly recommend that you go check them out for a little reminder of why the Arkham games have such an enduring legacy. But now, let's turn our attention to Gotham Knights. Did it deliver, or did it crumble under the weight of its own ambition? Stick around as we uncover the tragedy of a great idea that might have just missed the mark. Let's start off by just rewinding a little bit. Gotham Knights was developed by Warner Bros. Games Montreal, a studio that, as mentioned previously, is not a stranger to the Batman gaming universe. Announced in 2020, Gotham Knights promised an open-world Gotham where we could step into the boots of Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, and of course Red Hood. Development, however, wasn't smooth on this release. After multiple delays and changes, including the decision partway through to drop previous-gen console support, the game finally launched in 2022. Fans were excited, but met the game with caution. Would this be the spiritual successor to the Arkham series, or something entirely different? On paper, Gotham Knights sounds like an absolute dream come true for Batman fans. Here is a list of the key features I've pulled out of the game during my time playing through it. Open world Gotham. Gotham City is vast and visually stunning, filled with criminal activity, side missions, and of course, collectibles. Each district has a unique aesthetic, from the bright neon glow of the financial district to the dark, brooding alleys of old Gotham. The open world teases exploration and adventure, but seems to struggle with a lack of interactivity in depth for the most part. The playable characters. As mentioned previously, the playable roster includes Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood. Each hero has a distinct playstyle. Robin excels in stealth and technology. Nightwing is an acrobatic brawler. Batgirl combines hacking with traditional melee, and Red Hood focuses on ranged combat with his dual pistols. These differences promise variety, but often seem to fall short due to the repetitive mission design that fails to fully exploit these unique abilities throughout co-op gameplay. A first for the Batman games, which I think is very bold, and I respect the decision to try and do it. Gotham Knights allows you to team up with a friend online. Co-op adds a fun dynamic when your strategies align with who you're playing with, but it's clear that the game was still designed primarily as a single player experience. The co-op itself lacks meaningful synergy, and the absence of local multiplayer feels like a missed opportunity to say the least. RPG elements. Character progression includes gear upgrades, skill trees, and crafting. While it's satisfying to unlock new abilities, the RPG system often feels disconnected from the core gameplay itself. Enemies scale with your level, which in turn ends up diminishing the sense of growth and power that you typically associate with these kinds of RPG mechanics. Last but not least, the original storyline itself. Gotham Knights revolves around the Court of Owls, a shady organisation pulling the strings at the heart of Gotham. The game explores the personal struggles of each character as they grapple with Bruce Wayne's death and the newfound responsibilities following. While the premise of this is intriguing, the story's pacing and predictable twists do seem to undermine the emotional impact playing through the game, which is a little bit unfortunate. Let's dive a little deeper into the game and talk about what works and what doesn't. Starting off with the list of pros that we've got. First off, we've got the visuals and atmosphere. Gotham Knights is a visual spectacle. From the glowing skyscrapers to the rain-slicked streets, the city feels alive. The art direction successfully captures Gotham's essence, a city teetering between hope and despair. Dynamic lighting and weather effects add to the immersion as well, especially during the nighttime patrols. Character development. The game's narrative does a commendable job of humanizing its heroes. Batgirl's storyline delves into her resilience and recovery post-injury, while Nightwing's struggles with leadership are both relatable and heartfelt. Red Hood's redemption arc adds depth to his often violent persona, and Robin's quest for self-identity resonates with the younger audience. Combat potential. Each character's combat style offers a unique approach to encounters. For instance, Robin's stealth takedowns and gadget usage stand out in infiltration missions, while Nightwing's acrobatics make crowd control a breeze. While the combat system isn't perfect, it provides moments of satisfaction when mastering a character's specific playstyle. Let's move on to the cons now. First off, we've got the most annoying thing of all, repetitive gameplay. The game's mission structure is often one of its biggest flaws. Too many objectives seem to revolve around defeating enemy waves or retrieving items. Side missions, while abundant, lack the creativity and variety needed to maintain player interest, which I found to be quite a struggle trying to play through the game, and thinking about wanting to do 100% and all the side mission stuff, I'd put it to one side and it's maybe something I'll pick up afterwards. Combat flow. While the combat system introduces variety, it lacks the polish and fluidity of the Arkham series. Enemy AI is inconsistent, sometimes overly simplistic, other times frustratingly spammy. Animations often feel clunky, and the absence of counter-based mechanics, hallmark of the Arkham games themselves, is a glaring oversight on this game's part. Performance issues. I know I mentioned in the pros that the game does look stunning, which I will hold my hands up, it definitely still does. However, even on my higher end PC, Gotham Knights still seems to struggle with its optimization, whether that be frame rate drops, stuttering, and long loading times disrupt the experience overall. While the game's world does look stunning, cutscenes are hard capped at 60 FPS, which, for a title released in 2022, this limitation feels very outdated and detracts from the overall experience of the game. Narrative shortcomings. While the Court of Owls is a compelling antagonist, the storyline lacks urgency. The pacing feels uneven, with lengthy stretches of mundane tasks separating the major story beats. The game's conclusion, while serviceable, doesn't deliver the emotional payoff fans hoped it would. Last but not least, the underwhelming co-op. Long and short, co-op gameplay does not live up to the potential. Missions feel disconnected when playing with a partner, and there's little incentive to strategize beyond basic teamwork. A richer integration of co-op mechanics could have elevated this experience significantly. How does Gotham Knights stack up against other superhero games? Let's start off by comparing it to Marvel's Avengers. Like Gotham Knights, Avengers promised co-op gameplay and RPG mechanics. However, Avengers' live service approach alienated its player base right from the get-go, whereas Gotham Knights avoids this pitfall by focusing on a single player story. That said, both games definitely seem to suffer from repetitive mission design and lackluster execution of their ambitious ideas. And of course, the big dog itself, the Arkham series. The Arkham games excelled with the seamless combat, immersive storytelling, and engaging side content. Gotham Knights, by comparison, and meaning this in the nicest way possible, feels very fragmented from what we're already used to. Where Arkham offered tightly designed encounters, Gotham Knights missions often felt padded, stretching the game's content thin. As someone who adored the Arkham series and still does to this day, I came into Gotham Knights optimistic. The trailers teased a fresh, cooperative spin on the Batman legacy, but from the moment I stepped into this newfound Gotham, something felt off. While the world was visually striking, it lacked the depth and interactivity of its predecessors. Combat, though initially exciting, became repetitive very quickly. Playing as Red Hood, for example, felt clunky compared to these seamless transitions of Arkham's combat system. And while the Court of Owls storyline had potential, its execution left me wanting more by the end of the game. Even the Steam community has echoed these sentiments. While some players enjoyed the fresh take, many shared my frustrations over the lackluster gameplay and performance issues. It is a shame because the game definitely did have moments of brilliance. Immediate one that stands out to me still to this day is Batgirl's emotional arc throughout the story, but it was just too few and far in between for the full game. So, the question that you've all been asking yourself, which is the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place, is Gotham Knights worth your time? For die-hard fans of the Batman universe, I'd say there's enough here to warrant at least a playthrough, especially if you're just curious about the post-Batman world. But for those expecting an Arkham-level experience, all I can say is temper your expectations. The game's ambition is admirable, but its execution leaves much to be desired. If I was going to put a number on this game, I'd have to give Gotham Knights a 6 out of 10. It's definitely a game with flashes of greatness, but ultimately it's been dragged down by its missed opportunities and the technical flaws of a game released in the 2020s. There we have it. That's my take on Gotham Knights. What about you? Did you find the game to be a worthy addition to the Batman universe? Or, like me, did you think it fell flat? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed this review, be sure to check out my retrospective of the Arkham series for a reminder of why those games are still the gold standard. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be alerted when anything new goes up on the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next one.